And next, we move on to the panel discussion for the need of patriotisation of the Indian classical music. And to discuss the same, I would like to call upon our eminent panelists. Before I invite them on stage, let me speak a little bit about all the panelists that we are inviting here today. So Sanjoy Roy, who's also a known name. Sanjoy K. Roy, an entrepreneur of the arts, is Managing Director of Teamwork Arts, which produces over 33 festivals in 42 cities and 17 countries in countries such as Australia, Canada, Egypt, France, Germany, Hong Kong, Italy, Singapore, South Africa, Spain. कुछ छोड़ा है सर, कोई जगह छोड़ी है. The UAE, UK, and the USA, the Maldives, including the world's largest free literary gathering, the annual Jaipur Literature Festival, and international editions, and also the international editions of JLF. Roy, a recipient of a national award for excellence and best director for the film Shahjahanabad, The Twilight Years, is a founder trustee of Salam Balak Trust, working to provide support services for street and working children in the inner city of Delhi, where over 55,000 children have benefited from education, training, and residential services. Mr. Roy works closely with various industry bodies on important policy issues within the cultural space in India, and is the co-chair of the Art and Culture Committee of the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI. Former president of Event and Entertainment Management Association and a part of Earth Day Networks, official global advisory committee for 50th anniversary of Earth Day. Roy has lectured at and works in collaboration with leading universities across the world. A big round of applause for Mr. Sanjoy Roy, one of our other panelists today. Is the very known Ustad Wasifuddin Dagar Sahab. A big round of applause for Ustad Wasifuddin Dagar Sahab, जिन्होंने ध्रुपद का ट्रेडिशन कायम किया हुआ है. And let me speak a little about, actually too much of a novice to speak about these personalities, but still. He's a Padma Shri awardee. Ustad F. Wasifuddin Dagar Sahab at present is the leading Drupad exponent representing the Dagar family. For more than 2 decades, his elders have entrusted him with the responsibility of carrying on Drupad tradition in its pristine and pure form. Present situation is Ustad F. Wasifuddin Dagar Sahab lives and works in the NCR. He is the president of Drupad Society and the Dagar Brothers Memorial Trust. He is perpetuating the oral tradition of teaching and has revived the hope in students that Drupad is a promising career. He is appreciated for his convivial approach during his concerts and his art of connecting with the audience. He has been performing solo after the death of his uncle and his father. So please, a big round of applause for Wasifuddin Dagar Sahab. Our next eminent personality amongst the panelists is Guru Shovana Narayan ji. Guru Shovana Narayan ji, though I don't think she requires any kind of introduction, but yes. Known. So, alright. Shovana Narayan ji also, like everybody knows, is a Padma Shri, and Sangeet Natak Academy से भी उन्हें सराहा गया है. बिहार गवर्नमेंट राष्ट्रीय सम्मान से भी सम्मानित हैं. दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट परिषद अवार्डी भी हैं. Shovana Narayan ji, a name synonym with Kathak, who doesn't know it, is the celebrated outstanding doyen of this art form. She breathes the spirit and ethos of Indian spirituality, classicism, and artistic excellence. For her outstanding, consistent, and trend-setting pioneer works in Kathak, she has been awarded the prestigious National Awards of Padma Shri Award by the President of India in 1992, the Sangeet Natak Academy Award for 1999, 2000 in 2001, the State Awards for of Delhi Government's Parishad Samman 1993 and the Bihar Government's Rashtriya Samman Award for 2018, 19 and 21. Recipient of over 40 national and international awards, ladies and gentlemen. Over 40 national and international awards. She is a stalwart. They also include the Japan's Oyster Award, Bihar Gaurav Award. She has been conferred the Doctor of Literature degree, besides holding 2 MPhil degrees, Defense and Strategic Studies, and in Social Sciences, and a Master's degree in Physics. Please welcome Shovana Narayan ji with a good big round of applause. Our next eminent panelist here is Malini Awasthi ji. Is she present? I'm not too sure. But I'll speak a little about Malini Awasthi ji as well. मालिनी अवस्थी जी भी पद्मश्री से सुसज्जित हैं. Born in Kannauj, the city of perfumes, Padma Shri Malini Awasthi, much like her name, has spread the essence of Indian soil through her passion for folk music and traditions. Malini Awasthi currently serves as the chair professor for folklore at Banaras Hindu University and is India's representative to UNESCO for its Cultural Commission. Professor Awasthi, a Sangeet Natak Academy awardee, is also a member of the governing body of the ICCR and was recently awarded honorary D.Lit from the Sampurnanand Sanskrit University, Banaras. India's most celebrated folk singer, let us put our hands together for Malini Awasthi ji. And again, somebody has to be the last in the list, but not necessarily. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. But we do have a moderator here, Suanshu Khurana. And let me also speak something about Suanshu ji.
While Cheshta ji is looking for some words to speak about Suanshu, let me also let you all know that immediately after this panel discussion, we'll have a folk performance by Malini Awasthi ji, followed by Pandit Vishnu Mohan Bhatt. So please do stay back for all the 2 performances. Thank you so much.
Suanshu Khurana, as I said, is an award-winning music critic and assistant editor with the Indian Express. Besides being trained in the Hindustani classical music herself, she has also a master's degree in journalism from Punjab University, Chandigarh. With an artistic eye that manifests in her work as a critic and journalist, her writing is a compelling source for artists in the present times. She's uncovered the stories of many artists hidden from the manic media glare, artists who open their hearts and stories to her. These include Surbahar legend Annapurna Devi ji, from Jaipur Khurana exponent Kishori Amonkar ji, and Kathak exponent Roshan Kumari, among others. Please give a warm welcome to Suanshu Khurana ji as well. And I invite again all the panelists on the stage, please. Mr. Sanjoy Roy.
अरे यहाँ कंप्लीट ऑटोमेशन है, मतलब प्योर और पूरा दोनों ही.
Malini Awasthi ji, Smt Khurana, Wasifuddin Dagar sahab, Shovana ji.
Sir, Bill. Oh, well. Okay.
A big round of applause for our panelists who would share their opinions on the patronization of the Indian classical music.
Racing has taken me all over the world. But when I put on the helmet, I am still in India.
Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you present here. I have a lovely panel with me here, pretty brilliant people in their own fields. They've already been introduced, so I'm not getting into that. The topic that we're going to discuss today is need for patronage, need for patronage in the industry today. That's our topic today. And just to give you a little bit of background, it all started with the kingdoms, the rulers. That's where the patronage began. After that came, the musicians, the artists, the literature. I mean, they were all housed, they were kept, they were paid very well. From there, we went to dissolution of our princely states, where the aristocratic households took over. That's where the musicians were singing, the dancers were dancing, and radio came in just around the same time. So you had All India Radio. It was a proud moment if an artist had All India Radio written outside on the nameplate. But after the economic liberalization, a lot of other people came in. The government interests sort of shrinked a little there, and a lot of corporates came in. A lot of private citizens who wanted to invest in the art came in. I'm going to start the conversation today with Shovana ji. And my question to you is, you're not just a Kathak exponent, you're also organizer of the Lalita Arpan Festival, you have been in the government yourself. I want to ask you, has the interest to invest in the arts, do you think that's dwindled a little?
Yes, to a large extent it has. It has. Nowadays, because of the market forces, and there is a certain the atmosphere around which is a little different. The tendency is more towards a different kind of an entertainment as opposed to promoting the classical arts or the traditional arts. So when you're talking in terms of if it had not been for the government patronage, which is still doing a lot in terms of promoting and of preserving and promoting the traditional arts. Perhaps, we would have to really think about how, and I would also like to add a few individuals who are actually running society, and they are the ones who are really going from pillar to post, trying to gather funds, whatever, because everything costs money. Even an artist has to survive, and of course for an artist, एक वाह बहुत खूब है, उससे सब कुछ हो जाता है, लेकिन घर में चूल्हा नहीं जलता है. So one has to also think about that, and I think we really need to ponder as to how we can, as a society, as a community, give more helping hand, or strengthen the hands of those few, not only become government dependent, because government is trying its best, but also, and individuals are trying, few organizations are trying their best to do it, but many more would be welcome. And in that, I would say that it is the general people, because it is people from the general public, the kind of mindset which is created from the homes, from childhood onwards, that really reflects in the kind of vocation that they would be taking up and heading later on, where they would become decision makers. So whether it is in the corporate sector or whatever sector, because it is their sensitivity that matters. So we need to start sowing the seeds of sensitivity. We just saw these two beautiful, 3 children performing. Look at that, the traditional one, lovely, but non-traditional ones, I salute the parents, because it is in the home that this seed has been sown. So when they grow up, that seed is going to flower, and that sensitivity will actually reflect itself in whatever they do. They might take to art or they might not, but somewhere that sensitivity will be there, and the needs of the artist, the needs of a traditional performing artist here of the classical world has to also be understood, because they are different. So I think that we need to all put our hands and heads together, strengthen all the little trickle that is going on, and this, but hats off to the individual societies and to the government and all the various schemes with their limited resources, whatever they are trying. Hats off, because it is this that is really keeping the patronage at life. Today's function, let us see, it is a private initiative. It is a group of people doing it. Similarly, you have so many others. So it is the group of people, those people themselves, if more people, boon boon se sagar banta hai. So we just need more people to come forward, strengthen this stream, this little trickle of water into a little stream. Of course, classical arts and traditional arts would always remain a diwane khas. It will never be a diwane aam, but even in that diwane khas, because it is khas, धूप और अगरबत्ती और उसकी धूप की लौ वो खास है, लेकिन उसकी खुशबू घंटों तक रहती है. So we need to have that. So we need a healthy balance between the other world and this world. So and it is there, and it's never too late. It's never too late.
I'll come to Malini ji now. I'm doing women first, considering we don't get a chance, very often to speak. So I'll do the women first. Malini ji, higher arts ki baat hui. Shovana ji is speaking about classical arts and their place in the sun. I'm going to come to you with the folk arts. It's usually a token show. It's not as much respect sometimes. What do you think one needs to do for the patronage of the folk arts? You are a very different kind of artist. You're this powerhouse person that the world loves. But what about folk art in the villages, which is also dwindling as of now?
Hello. I'd just like to add something. You mentioned in your initial question that all classical music forms, be it dance or music, were patronized by kings, maharajas, darbars. We all understand and appreciate it because we know it, we have seen this. But you forgot to mention that our temples, the temple culture, be it Indian form of dance or Indian music, temples were the main center of culture and traditions. And even today in some towns you will find those like Sankat Mochan, Sangeet Samaroh, or even in Tirupati Balaji, they have regular music performances. I think we need to revive that, firstly, because it has a different kind of an synergy when you perform at the temple. Now coming back, speaking especially about the folk, I think we make a mistake when we identify only the rural or the mass or the villages with the folk. Folk is us, folk is me and you, folk is also in the towns, in the cities. And let me express my sadness when I say this, that it is the society in general which has let down. You know, when we speak about patronage, folk music is nothing but a lifestyle that you believe in, you live in, and the folk songs are expression of those moments lived, by our ancestors, lived through generations of experiential, be it struggle, their pleasures, their sadness. But I'm sorry to say that there is a lack of identification. People do not, they do consider it obsolete. They want to see and understand and appreciate only the entertainment aspect of this. And it is sadder in the villages, let me also add. It is sadder in the villages because they do not want to identify it either, because they feel that sadly that consciousness has set in amongst the youth in villages. If they speak in dialects or if they listen to Awadhi and Bhojpuri, they will be, bracketed or generalized as somebody. And this sensitivity is coming now amongst youth coming from big cities. They are able to understand and appreciate maybe. So I think that's a, it's a process that has been going on. I feel we have to really come back to Indian roots to appreciate the kind of rich Indian heritage we have. Unless you are connected with a dialect, how are you going to identify with those songs? Unless you are connected with those rituals, with those traditions, how are you coming to respect those festivals? They are not mere songs. When you sing a rag, when you perform a rag is a sadhana. Years of training of a rag, and then rag avtarit hota hai. Similarly, if you have not seen harvest and what it is like for a farmer to celebrate a harvest, how can you take pleasure? So I think, I feel in general, post-60s generation, I would say, let go of all this, and they stopped. There I think Akashvani and Doordarshan has done a fantastic job when we speak about curating them or archiving them. And government also had no other chance. These songs that I sing were never meant to be performed on stage. They were meant to be performed at home, Chaupal or the farms. But you have no other options because the government doesn't support an event such as this. When do I sing Chaiti? When do I sing Chaita? How do I sing 7 kinds of Holi that I do? Because today Holi has become all filmy songs. And then, oh, I'm allergic to gulals and I'm allergic to this. Let's do this flower wali Holi, and all sophistication has sunk in. And that kills the very spirit of folk, I'm sorry to say, because I think we have to go back to our roots. And folk songs cannot be merely some composition that you lip sync and you sing. It is an emotion which has to be understood, expressed. Take joy. When you take that joy, you share the joy with your audience.
And Malini ji has been a wonderful torchbearer of that. I'll come to Sanjoy. Sanjoy, a lot of people feel that art cannot create wealth. Intangible, yes, but tangible. I know that you believe that it can create tangible wealth as well. But I want to know, what is it that scares people to invest in it? How do they realize that it's tangible wealth as well?
Okay, as we saw these 2 young girls and the boys singing, that is tangible wealth. We talked about patronization, and that's where it started from temples or rulers or ruling families. It started from the talent. Now, how do you put a value to talent? And as Malini just said, even in the folk tradition, आप देखिए रामलीला जो street corners पे होते हैं, we take it for granted because in India, every 1.3 billion of us sing and dance from the minute we are born till we die. It is not in any way an external purpose, meaning it's not, you don't fund a ballet, you don't fund an opera. This is part of our inheritance. तो हर बार हम पार्लियामेंट में सुनते रहते हैं कि बड़ा हमारा परंपरा है, कल्चरल वो है, पर करते क्या है? I mean, at the end of the day, if you are in the creative sector today, you can look at a particular thing from different points of view. That's what the arts does. That there's not just one truth. There are many truths. All 4 of us here, 5 of us here will go away from this with different perspectives. Is your perspective going to be only right as opposed to my perspective or her perspective of Dagar Sab? Of course not. We all will have a perspective. They'll all be true. That is what arts does. And most importantly, arts allows you to think outside of the box. When you're talking about business opportunities today in India shining or the new India, then what do you need? You need to be able to think outside of the box. You need to think creatively. If at the end of the day 2001 Space Odyssey hadn't been written, who would have thought कि शायद हम चांद पहुंच सकते थे या मार्स पहुंच सकते थे? Who would have thought? It is this vision that an artist creates or shares, through which, whether it's science or technology or gaming or this mic that we are speaking on or the lights that we're on, all of this is from a creative vision. The sad thing is that at some point of time, there was a division between the science and the arts. And the arts was seen as, acha tum nikambe ho, bewakoof ho, jaake arts padho. This is totally inappropriate. The arts and the sciences go together. Today a nuclear physicist will invariably be an amazing musician. Aap Dr. Raja Ramanna ko dekh lijiye, he was a virtuoso pianist. You know, Homi Bhabha ko dekh lijiye, he was a virtuoso musician. This goes together. And when it comes to in terms of creating tangible wealth, I think we all forget that it is a possibility. हम क्या करते हैं? हम ये दिखाना चाहते हैं कि आप आर्ट्स पे एक करियर लेके आप प्लीज ज्वाइन कीजिए. ये नहीं कि ये चैरिटी है. ये मुझे याद है कोविड के वक्त जब कोविड शुरू हुई थी, मुझे एक टास्क फोर्स में पूछा गया, कोई मंत्री महोदय ने पूछा मुझसे कि ये आर्टिस्ट को पैसे क्यों चाहिए होता है, उनको कहिए ना कि डोनेट करें. तो फिर मैंने सोचा कि मतलब ये मेरा टांग खींच रहा है, क्या कह रहे हैं. फिर मैंने समझा कि उसके लिए आर्टिस्ट वाज ओनली सोनू निगम और शाहरुख खान. But the rest of the universe, 1.3 billion people today, or at least 400 million people in India today, receive a primary or a secondary income from the creative sector. उनके लिए हम क्या करते हैं? 14 ministries है जहाँ पे the arts comes under. But आज के डेट में 75 years later, we haven't done an enumeration कि what does this sector include? In the UK, the sector contributes 11% to UK's GDP, which is more than the banking sector, which is one of its highest, and its energy sector. In the research that we are now putting out, we're saying that in India, it's 1.9% of GDP is contributed by the creative economy, which is more than our mining sector. तो हम tangible नहीं है तो कहाँ हैं? हम गायब है क्या? आप जब गाते हो आप नहीं होते हो क्या स्टेज पे? शोभना जी जब नाचते इतने बच्चों को नचाते, इतने बच्चों को वो करते, अगर सब तब करते क्या? All of this is invisible. One of the problems is that we make it invisible. We have to be far stronger in ensuring, as Malini just said, to ensure that people understand the value of this. Of course, this is a free gathering. ONGC very kindly has supported it, and the ministry. They need to understand it's a value. Why is only ONGC otherwise supporting? There is a value. And you need to create much more opportunities for both brand and the artists to come together, as the Mahindras have done, as the Aditya Birla Group has done, as HCL has done, as some of the major government or the Ratna companies have done. We need much more of that.
In fact, a lot of it, thank you. In fact, a lot of it came forward during COVID when a lot of the artists, especially at the grassroots, were going through a lot. I think even Indian Oil, I mean, all of them helped with digital series and paying at least some small amount. I'm going to come to Wasif Saab now. Wasif Saab is sitting here about less than a year after you left Asiad Village. It was a government housing situation and you had to leave because of certain central government guidelines and how the artists quota was eliminated. There was a court battle, and now you live in Gurgaon. So I'm not going to go there, but I want to know, what does an artist want now? What does an artist need in terms of the patronage in the practical today's present times?
He has said a wonderful thing, and of course both of them. But as an artist, as an individual, or as a representative, I would say one couplet. खुशबुओं को फैलने का बहुत शौक है मगर खुशबुओं को फैलने का बहुत शौक है मगर मुमकिन नहीं है हवाओं से रिश्ता किए बगैर. So definitely हमको we have to do our bit, But you know what is classical? Classicality exists in every subject. And people have just suffocated themselves with the word classical. They like to say classic, but they don't like to say classical. With this extra AL, they feel it becomes stale. It's not true. It exists. Classical folk. Classical folk is also there. Classical Kathak is also there. I'm talking about folk. Folk is considered that it's or semi-classical or these things.
Semi-classical is harder sometimes.
Yeah. But it is. Everything is hard. Nothing is. Even to sing a ghazal, you should know how to present. It's not just singing a geet. Geet is different and ghazal is different. Representation of the text or the couplet sounds different. So the thing is that, of course, government should do more. Government was doing much more before COVID and something was happening. But they have all demolished all the schemes and all these things. Am I right or wrong? They have there were so many small artists and organizations which were doing so many things across the country. And they had gone in scanners and they have brought in so many things that, we will just, bring a little clarity and we'll just bring into refinement and everything. So, but they have cancelled all these funds what were given to so many sanstha. So I think if they can initiate that, it will be wonderful. Of course, many private people and corporate and ONGC, I think it's almost everywhere in all the big organizations. And this is what I want to say, that one more thing. We were also talking about this Prasar Bharati. Prasar Bharati, what has it done? Radios has taught us so much. There is nothing happening in radio. What is this?
So what do you mean nothing's happening?
There is no recordings. We artists, every no concerts, no recordings. They don't invite anything. It's just there. It's just there.
अगर साहब मैं एक चीज कहूँ, आर्टिस्ट को क्या चाहिए? मंच चाहिए. आप देखिए, पहले तो बहुत सारा मंच हुआ करता था, आज की दुनिया में नहीं है. अब लिटरेचर देखिए, जब हमने जयपुर लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल शुरू किया था, उस वक्त तो कुछ नहीं था. Today there's 233 festivals like this. We need many more festivals, and these festivals can only happen with support. जब तक हर गांव में, हर टाउन में, हर सिटी में, हर महीने एक कोई ना कोई ये कॉन्सर्ट हो, मंच हो, how will you create the next generation of artists? These two young girls, where will they find a performance space 10 years down the line?
May I also say that we need to actually start young. When we say that even in the school curriculum it has started, but we need to do it. Today when we are talking about ONGC and others helping out, now it is also depends on the person who's there at the helm of affairs. Suppose if tomorrow a non-sensitive person comes, what happens? Today I was quite aghast to hear a few days ago that in Doordarshan no new recruitments are there. The program department is being closed down. It's being closed down. So what is happening? So we need to actually think that where are we as people? What do we want as people and citizens of India? What kind of a Bharat we want? What kind of a country that we want? Because after all, it is our arts, our performing arts, our traditional arts, our, when I'm using the word traditional arts, which means something which has gone down, which could be folk, which is this, classic, what you today term it as classical. वैसे हमारे परंपरा में जो अंग्रेजियत वाले में नहीं, लेकिन उसमें everything was together. There was no compartmentalization.
Yeah,
so,
this is what I was saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying this Prasar Bharati, the government should just re-establish, do something for Prasar Bharati so that radio is active again, Doordarshan is more active again, so that will, because this, what's that, Bharati, DD Bharati. DD Bharati is the only channel which is giving space to classical music. Why the hell other channels are not taking up this job?
Let
Why?
me also say that classical, they feel that it is Stone Age. No, it is not Stone Age. It moves with times. It moves with times.
You wanted to say something?
It is Stone Age. But it is not, because it is carrying on the spirit as people change. Even that entire नहीं तो फिर क्यों अब वहाँ तब था और आज भी है. So because it's moving with times, but why do we fail to recognize it?
मैं एक चीज कहना चाहूंगी अपने मन की बात. जब कोई राह नहीं होती वहीं से राह निकलती है. मुझे लगता है, मैं अपने बचपन की बात करूं तो गोरखपुर में मेरा बचपन जवानी दोनों बीती, वहीं सीखा मैंने. और मैं आज पीछे सोचती हूँ तो कम से कम 10-12 ऐसे इंडिविजुअल डॉक्टर्स, बिजनेसमैन मुझे याद है, who used to organize small battles and concerts and used to support artists. Unfortunately, that has also died out. मैं जब शुरू में कह रही थी कि let us talk about individuals, let us talk about our role. किसने क्या नहीं किया छोड़ दे, हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं. हो क्या गया है, हर कार्यक्रम का मयार इतना बड़ा हो गया है, हर चीज अब इतनी लार्जर देन लाइफ है कि उस शहर में भी अब ऑडिटोरियम में होगा, उसी में भी उस्ताद जी बैठ के गाएंगे, उसी में भी कोई कल का कोई कलाकार, उसको भी बड़ा सा एक ऑडिटोरियम चाहिए, बड़ी लाइट, बड़ा तामझाम. हम सब लोग, हमारे उस्ताद, मुझे याद है 25 लोग 40 लोग बैठे हैं, अनौपचारिक सी बैठक है, पैसे रुपए की अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो जाती थी, इतने सस्ते में कार्यक्रम होते थे. एंड यू वर प्रोड्यूसिंग ग्रेट म्यूजिक लिसनर्स. वो इतनी बड़ी एक मैं कहूँगी कौम है, संगीत के रसिक श्रोता, जो ऑडिटोरियम में नहीं पैदा कर सकते आप. ऑडिटोरियम का संगीत वो नहीं है, बैठक का संगीत. हर शहर में आप याद करिए, पुराने रईस होते थे, पुराने बिजनेसमैन होते थे. कुछ संस्थाएं अभी भी हैं. मुझे याद है टाटा नगर में, जमशेदपुर में मुझे लेने आए ऑडिटोरियम एयरपोर्ट. जब मैं उनको मिली, 75 साल के, कैसे अभिनव वाले हैं, भोपाल में करते हैं, 50-50 पंडित जसराज जी से लेकर वो सबको बुला चुके, पूरी अपनी किताब दिखाते हैं. आई वॉज लुकिंग एट देम एंड आई वॉज टेलिंग माई सेल्फ, दिस इज अ डाइंग ब्रीड. अब ये लोग चले जाएंगे, ऐसे लोग रहेंगे नहीं. आज युवाओं को भी इस तरह से आगे आना चाहिए. मुझे लगता है कि 4 यंग लड़के जाएं और किसी भी उस्ताद जी के पास आए, आपके पास आए, मेरे पास आए और ये कहें कि हमारे पास इतना ही बजट है, न सरकारी पेट्रनेज है, न कोई बड़ा ब्रांड है, हम सिर्फ 100 लोगों को 150 लोगों को सुनाएंगे, आप आएंगे क्या? आई डोंट थिंक 3 of us will say no ever. We need to encourage
ना नहीं कहता.
हम लोग चाहते हैं. वुसत से मेरी बात हुई तो मेरी जब वुसत ने मुझसे कहा कि दीदी आपका पेमेंट ये वो, आप पूछिए, पहली चीज मैंने कहा उसकी बात नहीं होगी, क्योंकि खान साहब के लिए हमारा जो मन में है, हम उसके लिए आ जाएं. दिल्ली दरबार, हम खान साहब की शान में आ जाएं, उसकी चर्चा. मुझे लगता है हर कलाकार, पैसा सबको चाहिए, सबको घर चलाना है, सबको अच्छा लगता है, लेकिन हर आर्टिस्ट, सच्चे आर्टिस्ट के अंदर इतना ज़मीर है कि आज भी पहले उसके लिए अच्छे सच्चे श्रोता हैं. कलाकार, बड़े ब्रांड्स, बड़े स्पॉन्सर्स, पीएसयू के बीच की जो लाइन है, एंड rare individuals like Sanjoy, because what he has created is something magical. Today in India, I think he has shown many individuals what an individual can do, कि आर्ट को कैसे आप एक बड़े कॉर्पोरेट की तरह से रन कर सकते हैं सक्सेसफुली. सो लेकिन मैं बात कर रही हूँ कि यदि 4 लोग मिल करके कोई डॉक्टर्स हों, उन्होंने अपना वो धर्म छोड़ दिया, उन्होंने उनका भी एक काम है कि कल्चर को वो यदि बढ़ाएं, वो छोड़ दिया. यदि कहीं पे अब थोड़ा बहुत हो रहा है, मैं देखती हूँ, तो वो या तो टेम्पल्स में, मंदिरों में हो रहा है, या फिर वो कहीं देवी का जागरण करा लेते हैं, या राम की चंद्र की कथा सुनते हैं, या कुछ इस तरह से. दे आर डूइंग, नॉट डूइंग, लेकिन पेट्रोनाइजिंग गुड म्यूजिक, बैठक का संगीत.
मालिनी जी, जहाँ हम टेम्पल्स की बात कर रही हूँ, मैं अपनी एक छोटी सी एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करना चाहती हूँ. मैं कथक गांव के बारे में, तो हम कथक लोग को सुनने गए, देखा कि अयोध्या के मंदिर में हो रहा है सावन झूला के वक्त. अब वहाँ जब हम पहुँचे तो फिर they were there, the कथक लोग was there, but now what about their future generation? नहीं आ रहे हैं. They said कि भाई यहाँ कुछ नहीं है. जो मंदिर के भी पुजारी हैं वो पेट्रोनाइज कर रहे हैं, सब लोग आ रहे हैं, लेकिन वो हो रहा है कि अब जो है वो ट्रिकल बन रहा है, क्योंकि वो भड़कीली चीज़ें, पॉपुलर चीज़ें देखना और सुनना ज़्यादा पसंद करते हैं। हम लोग एक मंदिर में गए, वो बहुत खूबसूरत वो कर रहे थे वहाँ, एक जो ट्रेडिशनल, जो एकदम जो जहाँ से हम लोग रंगमंचे कथक आया है वो कर रहे थे। तब तक जब उन्होंने देखा कि हम लोग आए हैं, शहर से आए हैं, तो उन्होंने रोक दिया और एक छोटे बच्चे को कहा कि आप कर ये वहाँ के पुजारी, और वो बच्चा क्या कर रहा था, किसी पॉपुलर गाने पर ठुमक रहा है कहा। तो फिर अब आप देखिए वहाँ भी किस तरह की
Malini ji spoke about the whole villages. We'll have to wind this early, but I think the bit of a conclusion to this is that it's also an appeal to the private citizens, not just the government. Government, of course, needs to do it's their job to do this. A lot of corporates are doing, but it's also an appeal to the private citizens to probably bring back that old, better culture. ये चेंबर म्यूजिक है, इसको उसी तरह से सुना जाए तो बहुत अच्छा लगेगा. But
also, if you do not invest in the arts, we as a society will die.
Absolutely.
We will have no connection with our roots or our traditions.
Absolutely.
So
Let me also say that
in the not a please invest. This is a you have to be able to take this forward.
Absolutely.
You have to.
Absolutely.
India lives in many centuries at the same time. And one more thing I want to say, that culture exists in each one of us houses. Still we have. It's not like any other European country or American country, even Japanese or Chinese country. We have some other samman where we are not supposed to go with our slippers. We don't go in that area. We have to touch the feet of some elders, or we have to take the blessing, and we have to bow and get the head of the elder person on our head. It's still going on. So we have to be very, very positive. We have to be very, very positive, and don't be scared of classical. Please. The most classical thing is our body. And our body is just giving the inspiration. It's all that being created by this body only.
Let's say take the period of COVID. All the artists were there. They were the ones.
Absolutely.
Who really,
Absolutely. I think
kept the morale of society up.
the idea to wake up in the morning and think that everything will be fine, it was because of the artists. So thank you so much, all of you, for being here today. Thank you.
What an insightful discussion. Thank you so much all the panelists. I would like to add something here. Sanjoy ji. Suanshu, Malini Didi, Shovana Aunty, Vasif Bhai, Sanjoy ji. Let me add something here. While we've had an experience in organizing this event, yes, there were so many challenges beautifully brought out by the discussion here. But let me add that, while we were going and approaching all the corporate houses, we were being told that, this is not a part of our CSR. And I kept telling that preservation of intangible cultural heritage is a part of CSR. Why is it not included? But then that's how it is. Very unfortunate. I think people should work on that and it should be included. And we are extremely grateful to Ministry of Culture, especially for joining hands and our powered by sponsor, Indian Oil, for becoming a part of this initiative. We are extremely grateful. And may I request the ET Indian Oil, Shyam sir, to please come on stage. And we've already felicitated them. So we'll request Shyam sir to please come on stage and felicitate. Didi, एक बार हम जरा आपका फूलों से स्वागत करेंगे. The Drupad Maestro, Ustad Wasifuddin Dagar Sahab. Let's hear it out for him, ladies and gentlemen. And Smt Malini Awasthi ji, our very own folk icon. May I request ED Sir, Shri Shyam Bhora Sahab to please say a few words.
सर्वप्रथम तो मैं आप सभी का धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा और इतना अच्छा जो ये अपना प्रोग्राम है दिल्ली दरबार का, मैं इंडियन ऑयल की तरफ से आपको केवल यही बतलाना चाहता हूँ, जो अभी डिस्कशन हुआ कि कोई भी हमारा जो आर्ट है उसको ख़त्म नहीं होने देना चाहिए। केवल हमारा जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है पेट्रोलियम मिनिस्ट्री के जो तहत में आता है, हम हमेशा कोशिश करते हैं कि जितनी भी कल्चरल हमारे भारत वर्ष में हैं उसको किसी न किसी तरीके से हम हमारी तरफ से उसका सहयोग करते रहें। हम हमारी तरफ से छोटी सी ये प्रयास रहता है। उसके अलावा हम लोगों ने बहुत ही और दूसरी कार्य किए हैं, जैसे कि आपने देखा होगा चीता का जो रीएलोकेशन हुआ था, वो वहाँ से भी उसमें हमने काफ़ी बड़ा योगदान किया है। हमने कई ऐसे जो हमारे एनिमल्स हैं उसमें भी जो सस्टेनेबिलिटी के जो पूरे काम है उसमें भी हम बहुत बड़ा योगदान देते हैं। और आज इस दिल्ली दरबार के साथ जुड़ने का जो सौभाग्य हमारे को प्राप्त हुआ है, उसके लिए मैं तहे दिल से आपका शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहता हूँ। और साथ ही साथ मंच पे जो आज हमारे जितने भी आर्टिस्ट थे उन्होंने भी अपनी तरफ से बात कही, मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ। मैं विश्वास करता हूँ कि आपके ये 3 दिन जो हैं यहाँ पे इस इतने अच्छे वातावरण में बहुत ही शोभा देंगे और जितने भी लोग सुनने के लिए आएंगे वो खुश होंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Thank you for all your encouragement. We would not have done it without your support. We are grateful. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in a while we will have Malini ji with us. So please bear while the settings are being done. Thank you so much.
Indian oil. Come in. Good on.